So I need a frequency table for every qualitative and dichotomous variable. So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to start with the ones that I need. Okay, well, I only need these 10. Okay, I only need these 10, so I'm going to go right here, and then I'm going to go right here. So I now have a frequency table. Okay, so count to the following, and what you can do is press Control C, press Control V, and then just give it the values. So what I did there is I copied and pasted it. I copied this and I pasted it over here, but I got rid of the pivot table. I got rid of the way that it functions as a pivot table, which can be good, can be bad. The reason why you might want to do it is because it's a little bit easier to work with. The reason why you might not want to do it is because what's that called? Because you can no longer treat it like a pivot table. If you ever want to use it as a pivot table again, you might want to keep it as a pivot table. Like for instance, let me do something really quick. I'm going to insert a few rows because there's not quite enough space. You notice how it's overlapping. So I'm going to go insert. We can't do that because there's a pivot table right there. Good deal. So we're going to do. Let's do this. Insert. Actually, cancel. We're going to insert and shift this down. Insert, shift cells down, and we'll do it again. Insert, shift cells down until we have enough space to put this pivot table over here. So now we have enough space to put the pivot table over, but let's just give it a little bit more space. Insert, shift cells down. And I'm okay if you leave it as a pivot table. Okay, so if I were to do this, Control C, Control V. So we now have a pivot table. Let's give it a little space right here because we're going to say, which variable is this? Which variable is this? This one is going to be, which is your favorite fast food location? So we're going to say, okay, fast food location, there's that pivot table. Okay, I'm going to delete this. And then we're going to double click on this and we're going to put frequency. Make sure that it says count. Okay, and let's do this again. So we click on here and we say, okay, of the following, what is your favorite type of fast food? So I clicked on this, or you can literally just drag it into there. So let me back up. So I'll take that away. Notice I clicked off of that and it just turns right back into a blank pivot table. So of the following, what's your favorite type of fast food? So I clicked right there, clicked right there. So I just dragged them into rows and values, and then I highlight it, Control C, come over here, Control V. And now I've got favorite type of fast food. Control V. And now let's change it again. How likely are you to purchase chicken? So let's do likelihood of chicken. Control C, Control V. We're going to put that right there in just a minute. And then how likely are you to purchase one of the following? Let's put it right there. And it says, okay, you've got all these right here. Now the problem with this is, you notice it says extremely likely, extremely unlikely, so on and so forth. You want to put these in order, okay? So the way to do this is you put extremely unlikely right there, zoom in, and you'll notice when you hover over it, it should change. It should look a little different. You can actually move them. So we're going to put extremely unlikely, okay? Then we're going to put moderately unlikely, and then we're going to put slightly unlikely. Then we'll put extremely likely, moderately likely, and extremely likely. And so I've got all of those right there. And then I'm going to, so they're now in order of the actual order that they should be in. I'm going to press Control C, Control V, and I've got the entire table right there. But once again, I'm going to double click on this and change it to frequency. Okay. Now, I'm going to actually pause the video, and I'm going to do the rest of these. You do the rest of yours as well, and then we'll move on to the next section. Okay, so I have now finished putting together all the qualitative variables, but I do want to show you one more. The last one that I want to show you is the dichotomous. So we've got this dichotomous variable, and with this dichotomous variable, it's going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to copy this and bring it all the way down to the very end, and I'm going to put it from Texas or not, and I'm going to copy and paste this, Control C, Control V, and now what I just did is I just copied and pasted the pivot table, making it so that I can now just adjust the pivot table. So it's now just a blank pivot table. So I just took the data out of it, making it into a blank pivot table. So I'm going to put, let's see, down here, where are you from in the United States? So I'm going to click on where are you from. I'm going to drag it into values. And then I have count right here. So count of where are you from, which I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to change it as frequency. And I'm going to press OK. So the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to click on, because I want to know, are you from Texas or are you from outside of Texas? So it's, are you from Texas or are you not? So you're from Texas, that's great, that's 157 people, but what about the people that are outside of Texas? That's including everyone else. So I'm going to click on West, and then I'm going to press Control, or I think on a Mac, I think it's Command, where you can click on multiple at a time, and you can select multiple at a time just like that. And so I've got everything selected except for Texas. And then I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say I want you to group it. So it grouped all of these together, and you'll notice group 1 is 64, which is everything else, and then Texas, which is 157. And so we've got group 1, 64, and then Texas, which is 157. Okay, so now we've got frequency tables for every single one of those. Okay, make sure you have a frequency table for every single qualitative and every dichotomous variable. So now we're going to put a bar graph below for each ordinal variable. Okay, so we've got all of these ordinal variables, and we've got, we're going to make a bar graph. One other thing that you can do, I want to show you all something. If I wanted to, I can do Control C. Actually, I don't know if that's going to work. Don't worry about that. So it was going to require something for you to do something with a formula that doesn't work on Macs. So don't worry about that at all. But I'm going to make a bar graph. Insert. For each one of these. For all of the ordinals. So is this one ordinal? No. Is this one ordinal? No. But this one is ordinal. So I'm going to make a bar graph. Okay, so I'm going to do likelihood of chicken, and I can do a couple different things. So I can click on the actual one, and I can do analyze, pivot chart, and bar graph. Perfect. Press OK. Okay. Now, this is great, but what I want you to do is I want you to do this. Likelihood of buying chicken this week. So put a nice little title on it, so that way we know what it is. Because if you don't have that title, you know, we really have no clue what it is. And then, unfortunately, there's really not a whole lot of space. Let's just give it a little bit more space once again. Highlight a whole bunch and then do insert. There we go. That's better. So likelihood of buying chicken this week. And so let's make so now we're going to do likelihood of burger. And literally you can just click right on there and then do design, or sorry, analyze, pivot chart, and it gives you that. Press OK. And then once again, change the title. So we've got likelihood of burger, and then insert, analyze, pivot chart. Then this one right here is Mexican. Insert, bar chart. Analyze, pivot chart, bar chart, and just keep on going all the way down for every single one. And so now you've got all of those together. Okay, something else that you can actually do if you want to, you certainly don't have to, but when you have a lot of different frequency tables that are more or less exactly the same. Unfortunately, I really don't know how to do this or if it's even possible with pivot tables. But like, for instance, you notice how these all have extremely unlikely, so on and so forth. They're all the exact same variables. And there's ways to do this, like I said, with formulas. Like, for instance, VLOOKUP. There's lots of different ways that you can do this. But I'm going to show you how to do this really quick with just copying and pasting. So we've got the likelihood of chicken. So I'm going to put Control-C, Control-V, and then I'm just going to copy these one at a time. So we've got chicken, Control-C, I'm going to Control-C, let's go down again, burger, and don't put the grand total in there, and then let's go to Mexican. Let's do this. Control-C, Control-V, and I think you can actually, let's try this. So I'm copying all of these at one time. Control-C, and then going right here and doing, let's see here. Yep, that should work. Perfect. So we've got Mexican, then we've got Italian, and then the last one is sandwich. And if I do this, I'm actually able to make an entire chart all at one time. So I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm going to do insert, and I'm going to do bar chart. And so now I've got a bar chart of all of them all at one time, and you'll notice, hey, there's the legend right there down at the bottom, and there's one that really sticks out overall, and that one's extremely likely for chicken, that people are going to be having chicken. And then what's the most extremely unlikely is definitely fast food Italian. So this is a really good thing to do if you can put them all right next to each other to be able to have a bar chart like that. But in order to do that, you've got to, once again, pull them out of pivot tables. You know, I talked to you guys in class about how sometimes keeping it inside pivot tables can be a little difficult. Okay, so let's do comparison of likelihood of buying fast food types. Okay. So we've got that. Now let's come on down here. Likelihood of chicken, burger, we've got all that. Then the next thing that we're going to do is pie graphs. So we're going to do pie graphs of nominal data and dichotomous data. Okay, so we've got nominal data right here and right here. And something that you can do that I would encourage you to do is let's do, let's see here, sort, and do sort largest to smallest. And the reason why I'll show you in just a minute, but I'm going to do insert and let's see, analyze, pivot chart, and we're going to make a pie chart. And press OK. And so we've got our wonderful, beautiful pie chart right there, and put a nice title in there, and then scroll down, and we probably should once again make it a little bit bigger. So highlight those and do insert, and it just gives you just a little bit more space. So that way you can put the pie chart in there. Like I said, put a nice title on there before you save it. And then let's do another one. And we're going to do insert, analyze, pivot chart. And we'll do another pie chart. And you'll notice this pie chart compared to this pie chart. You notice how this pie chart goes in order from smallest to greatest all the way around? The reason why this one went from smallest to greatest all the way around is because I clicked on this and I said, okay, I want you to sort smallest to largest. And when you sort it, it sorts it. Another thing that you should definitely get in the practice of doing, and I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, it's like, yeah, this is really great. You've got picture representation of how it compares to the rest, but can you throw in a little bit of numbers in there, a little bit more information? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on design, and I'm going to click on add chart element, and I'm going to put data labels, and I want a data label in the center, inside edge. What is it that I want? So, I've got all these different data labels, so I'm going to do the data callout. and so it kind of puts a little call out on the outside. That's a good one to do. A lot of individuals, they'll tend to put it on the inside, and they'll get rid of the call out. Let's see. Oops, sorry. Design. Well, you can get rid of the call out if you want to. There we go. Well, I don't want to mess with that too much right now. But go ahead and make sure that they are labeled, so that way when somebody looks at it, they're like, okay, I know what's going on here. You don't want somebody looking at your data and being like, hey, what's going on? You know, your chart. The chart is supposed to be a really nice graphic representation, a picture, if you will, so that way people don't have to you know, spend too much time trying to figure out what's going on. They can just look at a chart and do that. So, you know, once again, we'll go up here and we'll do design, add chart element, data labels. Let's do the center. Let's see inside, except it's giving me a count. And so I want, let's see here. I want the value, let's see here. I want the percentage. And so what I did is I put design, and I said, give me more options, and I put the percentage, and I asked for the label position. I just put best fit. So it puts it where it perceives it to be the best location. For this one, it's 1% and put it on the outside. For the other ones, it put it on the inside because it fits really well there. Last but not least, let's do the dichotomous one. This one's going to be a little different, okay? And the reason why this one's going to be a little different is because I'm going to say, hey, insert or analyze. Let's see, let's put a pivot chart there, and let's make a pie chart and press OK. And you notice it says, where are you from in the United States? Okay, group 1 or Texas. And then where are you from? This is great. Well, I actually want to get rid of all that. Let's do Texas, and then let's see here. Okay. So that's the reason why it doesn't work. Okay. It's like I'm trying to show you comparison of group 1 or Texas. What that first one is saying is select all the data, and what you really want is you want all of these to be grouped. Okay. So in order to do this, what we need to do is once again just pull it out right outside the right outside. So let's see here, filter from Texas. I feel like it was there. Oh, yeah, I was messing with it. So let me delete this. And so we've got outside of Texas. And just put 64. And then Texas. And then we're going to put 157. And then we're going to put frequency. And so we've got that nice little table right there, really easy, just a couple numbers, and then we're going to do insert, pie chart, and there we go, outside of Texas, which is blue, and then Texas, which is that orange right there. I feel like they should definitely not have that orange. Let's do something better, because we do not want to identify with UT. Let's do green, because Baylor's definitely better than UT. And then outside of Texas, that's fine. So let's put this down here and make sure that you put inside or outside of Texas. Always have those great titles.